that fun new little alert. All right, you guys, happy Thursday. I hope everybody has had an awesome beginning of the week and that your June is starting off with a bang. I know that we have been in planning mode and just getting everything organized and ready to go. And I don't know about y'all, but the summer intimidated me a little bit because both of my kids are at home. Drop a one in the chat if you got kids coming at home or if your schedule is changing in some way, shape, or form this summer, right? So I feel like that's a consensus. Yep, there all the ones come. So I feel like that's a consensus for everybody. And so we wanted to come together as a team, as a big team, and just have fire poured into us once a week. We do team huddles normally on Thursdays and on Sundays, but we wanted to switch it up and just have a top leader come on and speak from their heart. So we are doing a summer spotlight series. It is going to be a 10-week series, and we're just going to have flames from the top. So we are going to kick off tonight with Rachel Jones. For those of you all that don't know her, she is incredible. Prepare to be inspired. Rachel, if you want to start by just sharing your story, I'm going to just jump right in.
I feel so honored that I'm like the first one. And I also, before I tell my story real quick, I know we talked about this like a few weeks ago. It feels like a long time ago. You have me so pumped. Like, I think I'm going to steal this idea. I'm like, I actually really love this because I too have been feeling a little weird about summer, which I know we'll get into that. So I love this idea. And I'm so excited that I get to like kind of help you guys kick this off. So I'm Rachel. It's going to be 7 years in September that I've been a part of this business. And It Works was, I have the story. I think a lot of people can relate to it, but I have that typical story of like young, dumb mom that did things out of order, irresponsible, food stamps, struggling. And I wasn't searching for It Works because I had actually tried another company fresh out of high school. And I was 19 years old. Someone just literally messaged me on Facebook, asked me to join Avon. I said yes, did not even realize what I was getting myself into going into college. And within 2 months, I had quit. And so I was just ignorant on network marketing. I didn't have a brain cell for it. So I thought I was the problem. I thought that I wasn't a salesperson, which is why I wasn't looking for It Works. But I got pregnant when I was 20. I was in college. My parents were paying for my education. So they were like, you made the mistake of getting pregnant. You're going to finish school, because they already had paid for it. So I was struggling and being on government assistance and paycheck to paycheck. I just knew there had to be more to life than the life that I was living, but I had no idea what that like extra life was going to look like. Someone posted about, there was one person posting on social media about the business. Not even about the business, about the wraps. And I didn't even know that there was a business side to it, because that's how much I had shut my head off, like my brain off with like, I would never sell something else. So I thought there was just products. And so I was really interested in the wraps. I used my birthday money to buy one for $20. She gave me a discount and I was obsessed with it. And when I asked her for more wraps and she told me it was $59 to become a customer, I was like, yeah, absolutely not. I will never become a customer. I cannot afford that. And the same day I joined her team for $100 because she told me all of the right things. And I made sure I told that part of my story just a little bit longer, because I think that that's almost more important than the success I've had, because it just goes to show that there are still people out there that would freaking kill it. I think I killed it and had no idea that like I would ever do this again. I shot her down with every excuse in the book with like, don't have time, don't have money, don't have friends. I've done this before. My husband will say no, all of the things. And she wanted me even more. And so that's why I joined her team that same day. I used a credit card. I told my husband to trust me and I ran with it. And so she told me that at the time there was a $10,000 bonus in 90 days, the same thing that's right now. And I remember going to her house that next day and she told me what it took to go diamond, which charts were different back then. So they were even harder. And I remember leaving her house pissed. And I was like, this is such a scam. You know what? It felt like one of those things where it's like, 1 in a million, right? Like your chances of winning the lottery. And I'm like, you used this to like get me excited and I have no chances of going diamond. So I cried the whole way home feeling like I got in too deep and I wanted to quit. I obviously didn't quit, but I just decided to run with it. I wanted to really see what it was all about. And I did go diamond in 3 months. And then I went double in 5 months. And that's when my husband and I quit our jobs. We were 22 years old, 5 months in. He was the diamond to my double. And we shakingly quit our jobs and we ran with it because we were confident with what we had our hands on. And then a year after that, we went triple. And a lot of life in between. I don't know if we'll even get into that. That I don't even think that's really the focus. If it comes up, I'll dabble in that. But we went ambassador, I think, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and now we're just doing it all again on our 2.0. I've been pushing for presidential for 4 solid months, but my time hop is reminding me how a year ago I was pushing all over again. I had the poster board and everything. I saw it this morning, and I'm like, wow, really like jabbing here. So I've been really fighting for prez. It's been one of the hardest promotions, but that's kind of my story, a little bit of it.
I love that so much. I love that there was quick wins and that there were starting and stopping for the wrong reasons and right reasons. I feel like your story has just a little bit of everything so
Mhm.
that every single person can relate to you. I love your story so much, and I've heard it probably 100 times on all the different things and at conference and stuff like that. And it's still every time I'm like, man, that's so inspiring because it just goes to show you like if you put your mind to it and you go for it, like you can do it. And you are living proof of that. And I love that so much. So I am gonna dive right in and I'm going to ask you a hard question first. So,
Okay.
if you could have your team hop on a call and you could say anything to them without anybody getting their feelings hurt or anybody taking things personally, or like, what is that tough love that you would give to your team or to somebody that you cared about, just to kind of say, hey, take advantage of what you've got. You've got to decide and run with it, just like you did. Like, what would you say to them? And just kind of, we're wanting fire here, so let's start it off with some fire. You're kicking us off, so jump
Okay.
right into that.
No pressure, no pressure at all. So this is interesting. And, I've been thinking about this question when you told me like a couple hours ago. And initially I was going to say, like talk about summer, but I know we're going to get into that. So I was really thinking just kind of about like this year, because this year's been really great, but the last month it's been very just, I'm just really taking care of myself here. So what I would say if this were my team, and I have been saying this, so I'll just treat you guys like my team, is take care of yourself because no one else is going to. And if you don't take care of yourself and make sure you are right, nothing else will be right around you. And here's the thing, it's weird because it's been 7 years. So I've dealt with, rock bottom, and I'm not there. I'm not at rock bottom, but I kind of had life kind of hit me a month ago when it was okay. This is going to sound weird. I want to make sure it makes sense to you. Because I've had rock bottom where I'm not making any money. And now this year, I am making a lot of money. And in the beginning of January, I was like, I just want to make over this amount because I made over that amount like through 2 months last year. And I was like, this is my amount. And I want to make over it every single month. And I've done that. And then beginning of May happened. And I just felt like I was almost hit with like a wave of depression in the sense of like I've been hitting this goal and I still don't feel like it's enough. And then I started searching for like, recognition elsewhere. And it almost seemed like nothing anyone could do was enough. And I started just to feel very unsettled. And it was weird because like my business wasn't falling apart, but I started to feel like this isn't fun. I'm losing myself. And it just was weird. Like my marriage was good and my kids were good, but I just felt like something feels very off. And so I actually called this like holistic doctor an hour away, and I just started like I paused my business and I really wanted to take care of myself. I thought my hormones were off and I was just going to get blood work, and like my lady parts were weird because I've never taken care of myself in that way. And actually they're all perfect and it's my head. So anyway, she put me on antidepressants a month ago, and that was just a really big wake up call because I was just like, dang, like I mean, I thought maybe I had like been depressed sometimes. So I definitely have anxiety, that's for sure. But having someone actually say, like, you need to pump the brakes and take care of yourself because you don't sound like you're all there was an eye opener. And, it hit me weird because I'm like, wait, I'm doing good though. Like, I'm actually doing good. Like, I'm not at rock bottom. But I knew it was just like such an eye opener. And I felt really down because I'm like, it's almost been 7 years in the business and I'm just now going to put myself first and take care of myself. And what the craziest thing was is that like me and Zach were talking and he was just like, when's enough going to be enough? Like, you've been really sprinting for years now and you just keep putting all of these things at the bottom of your list, and now here you are and you're kind of miserable. And then I felt guilty because I'm like, I'm making a lot of money. So anyways, long story short, I'm telling you that because some of you guys have heard my story where I actually was like postpartum. I didn't have any money. I had my baby. I was going to quit It Works. But now here I am at a high and something still isn't right because I'm not taking care of myself. And all I was doing was It Works 12 to 13 hours a day. And so, anyways, the past month has been just very eye opening. And I almost had to learn how to work It Works at an 85% instead of 100, because I really, really, really needed to put myself first. And I know that doesn't sound like that big of an adjustment going from 100 to 85, but that is when all you do is 100 or zero. That's all I knew. And if I went to zero, it would be zero for like 5 days in a row. If I was at 100, there was no in between. And so a month ago, I was like, I'm going to master having it all, because I almost felt like a joke. And then I felt like people were following my lead and they were like, oh, well, I'm going to do what Rachel's doing. And then they weren't working at all. When in reality, I'm working really freaking hard, but I'm working really hard on myself too. And it's going hand in hand. So I've been that's been kind of my motto with my team, and for you guys maybe for the past month is, I'm going to have it all. I don't ever want to quit It Works. It Works is not going to take care of me. It's going to take care of my family. It's taking care of my family. It will continue to take care of my family, but who takes care of me? Who takes care of my heart, my head? And I almost feel like I started blaming It Works for me feeling like it was never enough, when really I just wasn't taking care of myself. And what was happening was I was starting to struggle signing customers and signing distributors, because I didn't have this passion, because I stopped taking the products, because I use all of these excuses to why I'm too busy to take care of myself. And so, anyways, long story short, me being put on the antidepressants was a wake up call, and it started like having me kind of slow down in a sense. But here's the deal: I have a fear of missing out. FOMO is so real. I made both of the winter circles, like Alyssa knows. I mean, we don't want to miss out, right? You're addicted to the hustle. And so I knew, if I'm going to take care of myself, but also work really hard, I'm going to have to be intentional with less time. That's the only answer. Like, if I want more time with my kids and I want more time with my husband, and I don't want to do It Works all the time, then the time that I do is that it has to be more intentional. And you guys, I can't even explain. I don't know what my check will look like. I hope that it stays the same, but if it doesn't, I will be okay, because last month I feel like I was the happiest unpacking certain things about me, and I feel like I can do It Works forever, and I feel like I don't need that recognition. I have all it takes. I feel like I'm better for my team because I'm getting myself right. And so I don't know really what the like message is in that, just in this, just knowing that you can have it all, you guys. So if something feels off, if it's not fun, if things are crumbling in your house, or you know what it feels like when it's not all there, pump the brakes for a second, because there will come a point where it just doesn't feel like it's enough, and that is when people leave. That is when people blame the company instead of blaming themselves and taking the action, to fix themselves. So anyways, that's kind of what I felt was on my heart, was this summer, I'm not telling you things are slow, and I'm not telling you things are funky or you have to stop It Works, but I truly feel like halfway through the year, and it always seems to be May for me. And that's what it was. Halfway through the year is when, it's almost like you SHIT, or you get off the pot, start taking care of yourselves, realign. I think what I needed to do was, also missing Prez for 4 months in a row. It started messing with me. Like, I knew that I could do it, and I know that I can do it, but putting something out there and talking about these things that I'm not crossing off started to make me not enjoy doing this. And so I'm not saying I'm not pushing for Prez. I don't know if it'll happen this year. I don't know if it'll happen next year, but I've kind of taken it off the table, and I've focused on smaller goals that have made me better for my team. So what I would tell you guys, if I was to be red with you, and I was to if I wanted you to leave with one thing, it would be, this is the halfway point. Reevaluate. How is your heart? How is your head? How is your health? Because my health is poop. I literally am about to set up a personal trainer when I get back from Winter Circle, and I'm going full blown keto, because I'm like, I can't just keep like half ASSing it. And I feel like I got everything aligned except for my health, which makes me not confidently sign customers and not want to put myself out there, because I'm embarrassed that I'm in a health and wellness company and I'm the biggest I've ever been, right? So I have gotten all of these things set up to where I feel like it's going to catapult my business. And I feel like there's a better trust with my team, because I'm showing the vulnerability of, hey guys, things got a little hard and a lot of weird. I'm going down to 85%, because I know you guys can fill in that 15%. I'm still here, but I'm not going to get on Zoom 7 days a week. I'm not going to be the only one hosting things. I just refuse. And so I've had leaders stepping up. I've had people taking 2 days of Sabbath and working really hard those 5 days. Like, I'm having people figure these things out because I've set the pace. So do that for yourself. Are you happy with where you're at? What is the goal you need to maybe take off the table to adjust? And the craziest thing is, when I kind of took Prez off the table temporarily, I started focusing on people that I felt like I didn't see when I was going for Prez. That sounds so weird. I almost feel like because I was pushing for Prez, I have the specific people I need, but there were really good people that I don't need that needed me. And it was almost like there was something like taken off my eyes and I was able to see them. I had a girl go double that I didn't need last month because I started focusing on her, because I realized with me taking Prez off, there are all these beautiful people that maybe aren't where I need them. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm rambling. And this is what we talked about not doing. But I hope that helps you guys. I just think that we don't talk about that enough. I feel like we need to normalize taking care of ourselves. And I don't think you have to stop doing It Works to do that. You just have to dial back. And if you are addicted to the hustle, like so many of us are, you can do it more with less time. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I would encourage you guys to do the same if you're not at a 100% right now with your mental health.
Okay. Can we get all the zeros in the chat and who freaking related to that? Because that the chat has been blowing up. By the way, if you see 1,000 zeros in the chat, that's our like fire emoji. That is how we pump you up. That is everybody relating to you and hearing exactly what you're saying. So that was so not what I thought you were going to say, but that is so freaking good. And I love that you said that you pumped the brakes on your business for like a hot second, but you took action in a different way. So I love that you weren't just stopping. You were stopping, taking care of something else, and then you're figuring out the balance between the two, which I think is going to lead perfectly into our summer conversation that we're going to have in a second.
Yes.
But something else that you said, you were like, I kept backburnering it. I kept backburnering it, and I wasn't taking care of myself or making that a priority or whatever. Like we all make our kids a priority. We all make our husbands. We all even make our houses kind of a priority and keep laundry done and whatever. Like it's never us though. We always put ourselves on the back burner. We're going to prioritize our business, and I kind of feel like that's how a lot of people, when they're first getting started in the business, whether you're at the point where you're at burnout or feeling this pressure to promote to the next rank or whatever, not prioritizing self-development. And I think even as a leader, you can still feel that. Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I was just typing what Alyssa said was like, oh,
Yeah. But prioritizing self-development is like the very base level
yeah.
of how you can take care of yourself and how you can pour back into yourself. And so I forget what you said, but I was like, oh my gosh, like you got to start at level one. Like if you've got to pour into yourself every single day with like journaling or affirmations or some type of self-development. And so I thought that was really good. And then I don't know if you've heard Jade's analogy, or if anybody else has heard it on here, but she talks about whenever you are on like a long road trip, which I feel like It Works is not, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We're all here to make money for a really long time. And so she talks about finding that cruise pace and not going 100 miles an hour the entire way, because you're going to get crap gas mileage, you're going to miss exits, all the things. You've got to find that solid like 80, 85, or if you're me, like maybe like a 89 or 92, like where you're just cruising. That's your cruise speed, but you're not missing things and you're not feeling like you're all over the place and that you are addicted to the hustle. So I don't know if y'all have heard that analogy, but it was so good to me too. And what you were saying, just giving the numbers and the percentages, I was like, that relates so much. So all of that being said, that was so freaking good. And now I want to like get a personal trainer and just take care of myself. But I will say that I know a lot of myself and our leaders have kind of made some decisions to and they're trickling down, right? We lead from the front and we set the pace of our packs. And so we've made some decisions to do things differently this summer. And so I want you to talk about what it looks like to be intentional with less time, and how even summer is a great time to start that, because you do have kids at home that are going to need more of mom, or you do have a different setting or whatever. So if you want to jump into summer, that would be awesome.
Yes, this actually, okay, so typically, like, I don't like, typically I'm like, oh, summer, but I feel like maybe it's just because we're on this like self growth like thing that I'm so excited for this. But I really, before I say stuff about summer, because this has been what we've been trying to tackle, we're like, let's kind of be proactive until like, so that we're not in August, like, where the heck, like, where did we go wrong this summer? So I'm excited about that. But real quick, I just want to make sure that you guys heard me right when I said like the 85%. I know like Jamie and Alyssa are like nodding their heads, but I'm like, please, I got super yellow, and I'm like, I hope no one on here was like, okay, she's telling me to not really work that much, because okay, so what it looked like for me real quick, like the whole 85%, it was because I was so quick to cancel my Orange Theory. I was so quick to eat out because that was convenient for me. I'm so quick to cancel all these things that aren't important. It wasn't like I didn't want to do It Works anymore. I really want to do It Works all the time. So knowing when I told myself you physically can't, like I was telling myself that I couldn't do that, I had to be more intentional with smaller time amounts of time. So like I knew that I had 2 hours of time before I was going to work out for an hour and then spend an hour with my kids, like forcing myself to do those things. I was super intentional with my 2 hour window of work where I was hosting a power hour excitedly because I'm like, I only have 2 hours until tonight, you know? So I want to make sure, and please no one think that I'm telling you to take the summer off to take care of yourself. I think you can do both. But for the summer, yes, 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 I'm hyped for this because it's kind of along the same lines of like having it all. And here's the deal: we've worked this business so differently. Like over the past 7 years, it's like the things I did in 2015, I could never get away with now. It's just crazy how things like revolve. Like I think about the cold messaging of telling people, like, hey, you have a cute personality. I make $7,000 a month. I came home to my husband. You should join my team. And that was like working. I would never, ever say that now. Well, it's kind of the same thing with like, we used to always promote this business and we would be by the pool and do all these things and be like, I never have to work, but I make six figures. We made it look so glamorous. And then you're attracting people like that. Well, what I had this awakening moment, it was kind of also Zach telling me, like, you've not slowed down at all. This isn't even fun watching you do this anymore. I was realizing that, like, when I'm working 90 million hours a week, that's all I'm posting about in my story. And here I think that I'm showing everyone like I'm a hustler, I'm super rich, and like all I do is work. When on the outside looking in, I think that's really inspiring to It Works people that watch me, and they're like, you just inspire me to work. But people that aren't in the company are like, ew. Like I don't want to do it, and like they don't have proof of the money. It just, I felt like it was turning people off. And I was realizing like that was also why I needed to do more things and I didn't have to do It Works. Because what happens, we go on vacations, we do all of these things. When I was in Winter Circle, I had 3 people come to me and say, I don't get how you get to travel, can I join you? Like I want to do what you're part of. And I'm like, that was the easiest sign up ever, but here I am thinking I have to be in my office all day long. Okay, well, I'm not doing that this summer. Like I have a freaking 7.5 year old, 6 year old, seven. I have seven. I don't actually know if he's 6.5 or 7.5. I just kind of blinked for a second. I truly don't remember what he is, but he's old. He's very old and he needs me and he's smart. And I cannot get away with just neglecting him all day in the summer when he doesn't have school to take care of him half the day. And so what we decided with our team, I had a diamond Zoom last night and it was just a coffee chat style. And we were just kind of slowly talking about what we liked, what we didn't like. And a lot of people were struggling with the same thing. They're like, I need a new schedule. And so what we decided, and I don't know what your guys' team is like, but we go through seasons of doing this and doing that. Well, lately we haven't been waking up early. We completely stopped doing our morning Zooms, all of the things we sleep in, we live our best life, whatever. And so what we decided to do is from 6 to 8 in the morning, we're just going to sit on Zoom together. And the first 30 minutes, we're going to sit in silence and we're going to read together because people are starting to do all these things by themselves and then they're not doing those things, right? And then we have a half of our team that's like, I need to give God my time first. Well, let's just do it all together then. And we'll just do it in silence and pay attention to what we all need. So we're starting this next week and we're going to do 6 to 8 a.m. We're going to work hard together, read and do the self-development in the morning, and then work really freaking hard before our house wakes up. And so then it's not that we're not going to work in the middle of the day, but if I go to the pool, I'm not going to hate myself. If I decide to go on a vacation, I'm not going to hate myself because I know I have to do this. And then at nighttime, right after dinner, having another 2 hour. And what I'm saying is like, that's not just that I'm going to do 4 hours a day, but it's like, those are going to be bomb hours where no one's bothering me. If I answer host to post and do things throughout the day, that's just extra credit. But the reason why we're doing 2 clusters at those times is because one, from 6 to 8, people are in bed, rolling out of bed on their phones, checking things, getting ready for work. They're always on their phones doing stuff during that time. So it's hot. It's like a hot time for you to get host posts up and do those follow-ups. And then at nighttime, it's right after people get off work. And that's when I'm freaking always like, my phone is blowing up. So I feel like if we go into the summer knowing, okay, I'm going to work really hard right when I wake up, and when I say work hard, I'm doing that. And then at nighttime too, right after dinner, then I can work kind of like half in, half out, but enjoy your life, post about your life, and you just will do things different. It's almost like you're rewarding yourself for that. And so that's kind of the schedule we're going on. And also because a lot of people on my team do work through the summer. So then it helps those people too. Because oftentimes when we do the middle of the day things, they're like, wow, is there nothing for me? Like, so anyways, I'm excited about this because I think it's going to be helpful. And I think those two prime times are really great. And then we're going to be really intentional in the middle to show summer and to show like this is the life. We are home because of this. And so I started being more loud about that. And then when I'm intentional with those work hours, it almost feels more fun to be like, hey, I'm taking off from 12 to 3 because I'm taking my son to the pool. So here I am in my office. You see me working for 90 minutes with my team. I do work hard to have this life I'm about to have. So, anyways, we're treating it kind of like a fun game vlog. We're like addressing our day, but we're showing them that we live a good life because that's what we do. But oftentimes we don't really share that. So that's kind of the summer topic. I want to pause just in case you have any questions about that.
No, I think that's so good. And I think I'm actually team no sleep. Like I'm a total night owl. And we started mornings this week on my team from 6:30 until 7:38. But even just getting an hour of intentional time before you go to work or before your kids get up, like I can stay in bed and work from bed all day long or hang out with my kids or whatever. But I love that, being really intentional about showing the life that we get to live because we do hustle our butts off in this business, and getting to spend a whole entire summer with my kids and doing all the fun things. So I love that. I am struggle busing in the morning, but I'm fully committed. And I was telling my team last week, I'm like, I know I'm not a morning person, but I'm so excited about trying to get up and commit to this and doing this every day because it's going to make a difference, and it's going to free up our days to be more reactive during the day versus feeling like you're having to be the one that's being proactive all day long. So I love that. No, and you just keep going because everybody's loving it.
Okay, I want to say one more thing about that. Then I want to tell you what's getting me excited right now. But also with that, and I don't know, I know some people can relate to this, but I just feel like if I'm not a schedule person, you guys, and if I am, like this schedule that I just talked to you about, probably in a month I'll probably want a different one. I'm just someone that like if I'm doing something for too long of a time, I get very bored and I get sometimes like the L word, but I'm not speaking that over myself because I'm not calling myself lazy anymore because I'm speaking that into existence and I am really trying to correct myself, but that's what I feel like. And so don't get like caught up in the schedule itself, but you do need one. And what has me excited going into this summer, mind you, my son just got out of school last week, so it's like new. But what has me excited is knowing like if I can tell him, he doesn't know what I do, he doesn't really understand. I tell him I have Zooms and stuff. But like if I can tell him in the mornings, well, I don't even have to tell him in the morning. So my kids don't get out of their room until 7:45. That's something Zach and I have established for a long time. We've been very strict about the sleep schedule. So they both have lights on in their room. It's so psycho. They have night lights that go off at 7:45. They can only leave their room to go pee. If they wake up at 6, they're laying in bed. Once it goes off, then you can come out. So they come out of their room at 7:45 unless they magically sleep in once a year. And so I know they're not getting up, which then I was sleeping in because I'm like, I don't need to get up. I'm getting up at 7:45 with them. So I don't have to explain anything to them because I'm getting up before them, which will be intentional. So now all I have to do is explain to them at nighttime, dinner time. That's when they want me to. It's just really weird. I'll tell them like, that's the time that they can't touch, right? So, anyways, I think it'll be fun too, and you won't be as crazy because what had happened was my husband started telling me more times than not, like, when you're off and you're crabby, you're the glue. And everyone else has to suffer because you're stressed over it works because you're running around with your chicken like a chicken with your head cut off. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. So it kind of I feel like will make us feel less guilty and get to spend time with our family too. Because I'm very guilty when I don't have a schedule to be like, nope, I'm working, I'm stressed, I'm working, I'm working. No, we can't go to the park, I'm working. So I think that'll be great. But okay, I wanted to real quick tell you guys what had got me so excited. And I'm so pumped to go back to Winter Circle. And Alyssa and I are on a mission because we were shy. And my biggest regret with Winter Circle was not like growing up. and talking to people more sooner than I did, because once I did at the end, I started to learn things, and I feel like I would have learned so much more. But anyways, host to post. I told you that this past month was like all about mental health. And so because of that, my business suffered in certain ways, in the sense of like, I didn't get 10 host posts up every single day, like little small things like that. Like, and not the end all be all, but it did affect my enrollments a little. And I know that host post is it, right? So I needed to get back to getting 10 host posts up a day. This is what we're doing in June. Two things that have me excited. What happened in May was I kind of dialed back, and I was just kind of coasting with, I was doing good, but I have girls on my team that are great. Okay. So I was like settling with the girls that are good, which isn't bad, but my girls that are great and they're psychos in the sense of like signing 5 customers a day and they do crazy things. They were feeling like, you're categorizing us with this. We're not even being pushed outside of our, like, we need more. And so I realized that I couldn't treat my chats like they're all equal, because at the end of the day, they're not. If you were to pause your business for a minute and talk to every single person one-on-one without the influence of others, and ask them, what makes you feel loved from me? What would push you? What do you want? You would find that some people are okay with their $200 a month and they're traveling this summer, and other people are staying home and they have goals bigger than themselves. You shouldn't treat them the same. Why would you treat them the same, right? And I wasn't realizing this until some of my girls were coming to me separate. So what we did is, I'm keeping all those chats the same, but the girls that want to be super crazy I kind of want to be crazy because I was like super not crazy. So I'm like, okay, I'll be with you guys. I feel like I have to as a leader, and I'm going to show you we can have it all. So we made a push chat with a couple sidelines. And we never posted on our team page. We never posted it in chats. We only privately invited those that have made it loud and clear that they want to have a really crazy June. And so it's June 1st to June 30th. It's just a chat. And I think Alyssa's doing something, she's doing something similar. I don't know if it's all of you guys or something private, but we have 2 responsibilities, and it's 10 host posts a day. So 70 a week. So I guess you technically don't need 10 a day, 70 a week. Split it up however you want. If you want to do 10 a day, or 30 one day, 10 the other. But we're doing that. And then the other responsibility is bringing in 250 new GV every single week. That equates to 30 a day. So whether it's API orders from your customers, new customers, or maybe it's a personal order, that's the goal. And so obviously you're going to bring in your volume if you're getting in the host to post. So they come hand in hand. And the reason why we had that volume goal is because they can't just be getting DT host post up, or they can't just be getting crappy host posts up that don't work and you're not bringing in any volume, right? You have to be a problem solver. So we have this chat, and on Monday nights, you're getting removed if you don't do it. Everybody was on the same page. And then Tuesday mornings, they're being rewarded with like a coffee chat with what's working, kind of like a mini winner circle, in a sense of like, obviously we're all hot right now because we made it another week. Let's talk about what's working, because that's how winner circle was we kind of just, obviously jumped from person to person. So that's one thing I'm super excited about. And if anyone's looking for something new and you're not a part of something, start one. I mean, it doesn't even have that many people in, but it's an experimental group type of thing. So I'm excited about that. We've also been really loud about it. So the people that didn't want to be in it were kind of like, like wanting them to kind of FOMO. So they want to be a part of the next one. But the other thing that's getting me excited, that's tying into that, is just host to post period. Because I think part of why I wasn't getting 10 up was because I was just getting bored of it. And I was also feeling like I wasn't tracking them anymore. So I didn't really have that satisfaction of getting them up. So anyways, we're using our notepad on our phone, and I just labeled June host to post, and then I'm labeling, or I'm having the date, and then I'm just like labeling, like that's 6/3, 6/2, 6/1. Okay, now I'll tell you what that means. So I'm keeping track here because I am a paper person, but then I'm bouncing from like one house to another, and outside and inside, and I'm leaving my paper and it's not serving me. So we're writing their names down, and this isn't anything new, but we're writing their names down when they say yes to posting, because I wasn't following up and I wasn't getting my host post up. And then we're checking that little box once they've actually posted. Okay, what I learned at Winter Circle, and I thought that it was so crazy, and then it actually is working extremely well, which is making it fun, is we are using this as a follow-up to go back to the post. Okay, so let's say tonight, Jamie says she's gonna post for me, and I give her the post, and then she's like, okay, I posted for you. Typically, I would go to Jamie's post right away, save it, turn on the notifications, thank Jamie, like it, like I'm stalking it, right? Which is great, and it's normal, and you guys can keep on doing that. But what happens is then, 3 hours later, maybe you're trying to hang out with your kid, notification. That's where that stress comes of like, I want to hang out with them, and I also want to do host posts, and you just start getting like frazzled, right? Well, what I learned at Winter Circle was to not save them and to go check on them 4 or 5 hours later. Freaking weird. And I didn't want to do that. Well, I had some of my girls be the guinea pigs first. I'm like, you guys try first. I'm going to keep on saving mine. And then they were freaking out because they were like, this is actually working. They're all getting comments and likes and crazy things are happening. Okay, so I started doing this too. So Jamie says, I'll post for you. She says, hey, it's up. I say thank you. I check mark her box. I don't even touch her profile. This is definitely produces a lot of anxiety, but I'm starting to it's starting to lower because it's starting to be my new norm. So you're not checking it. And then I'm moving on with my task. My task is to get 10 up. Or maybe that's not even my task, but my task is I'm spending an hour getting host posts up, period. I'm stuck in that task. I'm not worried about Jamie's post. Okay. So then you have everybody in your notepad. And now whenever I have downtime a couple hours later, I'm going to go and I'm going to look at them and I'm like, oh yeah, Jamie posted for me 3 hours ago. Let me check on her post. Oh my gosh, she has 15 comments. Now I'll hang out with it. Right. And so this is really crazy, but it's been working unless it's a crazy coincidence. It's been working for everyone. We're just still in that freak out mode of like, oh my gosh, 3 hours later and that giveaway post had 50 comments, but I totally forgot about it because I never saved it. That's the point. And so we're kind of just enjoying our day because it's almost like you're doing the dirty work of getting the host post up and then forgetting about it, which is helping you enjoy whatever task you're in or your life, period. So that's been really awesome. And it's has us geeked because it's like a new system. And I feel like for some reason, the reason why she said to do this was because she was like, you're breaking the algorithm. And I don't know why that has anything to do with the algorithm, but I also just am slow with that stuff. So that's been really, really fun for us. So again, I'll just say it really, really fast. Like tomorrow morning, I'll just say, and then I'm counting it up because I have to do 70 this week, right? I have to show my team that I did it. So then tomorrow morning I'll say 6-4 and I'm trying to get those 10. And then someone says yes to posting, their name goes down. And now I want to make sure that little bubble is check marked, which means they actually posted, which it's the same thing as when people started telling us to highlight their name on paper when they posted for you. You think you're doing everything you're supposed to do by asking and asking and asking. But when you look at this list, you're like, holy, like yesterday, I had 17 people that weren't check marked, which means 17 people said yes to posting and their freaking post is just in their inbox. Like, why didn't they post? I worked really hard for that. I had to work extra hard to follow up with them to get the bubble orange. Does that make sense? So it's been really cool and really fun and really scary because you obviously want to obviously message them right away, but it's been super helpful. So that's kind of a lot.
That makes me so excited because I did not hear that when we were at Winter Circle last month. So that is something I am definitely going to do. I did go back to paper and pencil and writing down who said they were going to hat for
Yeah.
me because I'm just like you, like I got away from it. I was getting my haps up consistently. So, and I follow up with people the next day by just scrolling my messenger, but how much easier is it if you're intentional and already have those names written down? I love that. We actually talked about it in our newbie chat this morning. They were like, somebody left me on red. Okay, well, don't go back to that message until tomorrow when it's follow up or until they respond to you saying that it's up, or if they have a question, like until that little green dot is there, don't go back to their message. Like, quit checking things just to check things, because go live your life, get out of your messenger, do the things, do your output, and then move on. So I love that. I love that that translates right in, like across the board. Like, if you can reduce the number of dings and whistles or whatever coming from your phone, then you are so much more available to be present in the rest of your life. So I love, love, love that. All right. So what else you got for us? We've got as long as you want, but I want to be respectful of your time. So I know everybody's loving this. So we've been going for about 40 minutes, but if you want to leave us with some last words or whatever, just bring us home, sister.
Yes. Okay, real quick, just a couple things. Also with this method, it's kind of like feeling like you're taking a little Sabbath every single day, because for me, I don't have a passion with working out, but it makes me feel good when I feel like I'm not like hurting my business to take time to work out, but I do love to read. Like I love to read like I love my kids, but I'm always quick to put that last because I'm like, I can't take time. I can't take 45 minutes without my phone. And I'm only going to read if my phone's not by me. Cause like, why would I waste my time if I'm not like processing it? So it's been fun because I feel like I'm like honest, like I'm honoring like a little bit of Sabbath each day, like little clusters of Sabbath because when I'm on my Sabbath, I don't have my phone by me. Because why would I tempt myself? So it's like you said, limiting the notifications. It's been really cool. And so with the notes things too, you just open up your notepad. It's on your main screen. You open up your notepad And then you just, that little bottom left hand corner, bottom right hand corner, it's like that little paper, create it. And then you would just say June host a post. And then you can see there's a little bubble that has a check mark in it. If you click that, it allows a bubble. And that's going to be where you check it off physically once they post for you. But what Alyssa had said, that's a good thing too. We've been utilizing that, a shared note. So what you could do is like, maybe you have a team of like 3 people and it's something super small or something, and you guys want to give yourself challenges. You can create your note, and then at the top of it you can share the note. And so then what happens, like if I were to share my host post note with Jamie and Alyssa, it's going to I'm going to text it to them. It's like a thing at the top, and then they click it, and now Jamie and Alyssa, when they open up their notepad, they see mine, and it's a shared note. So we all have it on our phones. So then if like Alyssa were to update it saying I got 3 host posts up, I could see it, you know? So we've been using that too. We use it for like that feature for if me and like my girl Bethany are co-hosting a Zoom, I will make my notes and then I'll share it with her and say, add yours in between. So we have like the itinerary. We're doing it for like winner circle points. Like we use that for a lot. So that's been really helpful as well. But yes, just a couple things with host posts real quick. If you're like feeling like it's super dead and it's not working, really just our team is going back. This is kind of common sense stuff, but our team has really been going back to like the first few, no matter who, like what we were doing, we were getting caught up in looking to see what the person looked like and basing our host post off of that, like, you know, kind of judging their Facebook itself. But then that was kind of getting us caught up, and then we weren't getting like the giveaway up because they had 3,000 friends and we really wanted a gummies to blow up or something like that. So we're just taking all of that off the table, and every single morning, like depending on how like dusty, I don't know how else to say it, like dusty my like social media seems, I'll get 3 or 4 or 5, but it's like I'm not moving on to cleanse or gummies or coffee until I get these giveaway posts up. And that's what's been keeping me really, really busy. And then with the giveaway post, I've been having, maybe like after an hour or two, I've been having the girl who posted it get on that post and say, hey guys, make sure the drawing is in a few days, make sure you accept, and then tag me, Rachel Jones's Facebook or friend request. If you didn't get a friend request from her, message her the word giveaway. And I was doing this, I was the one saying that on the post, but then I was realizing like, I don't know, people were just kind of ignoring me. So I feel like because it's the person who posted, when people see like, oh, she posted again, I wonder what she's saying, they went to look. And then I did this, I just played with this like right before Orange Theory one day, and I came back and had like 15 people saying giveaway, 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 which makes it easier, obviously, because then you can just copy and paste, go ham. So that's been really helpful. And then just, I just want to give you guys a couple tips so that you guys can kill it. But honestly, this has been really hard because I have people like in our accountability group that are like have 13 freaking customers already this month. Like that should be illegal. I don't understand. Like I'm a good customer enroller, and I'm like, how the heck? Like I just busted my butt and signed my 3rd customer of the freaking month just now, and people are signing 13 off of gummies, which is weird because gummies really worked, but then I feel like it hasn't in like 4 months. So they went back to the gummy picture with the gummy post, but then we also learned at freaking Winter Circle to screenshot the colored background, and people are literally having so much success just throwing up that picture of like the colored background if you could take 2 a day. So anyways, gummies is supposedly working a lot. I'm not doing that because cleanse is really, really hot for us. So we're just using like that aesthetic cleanse picture with the typical cleanse background or cleanse wording. And then I've been, all 3 of my customers that I signed this month have been pick 2 or pick 3 because I refuse to have unhappy customers. I know we promote that the cleanse can make you drop 10 freaking pounds in a second, but once I get them in my inbox and I have their card info, I'm like, you actually, if you want to lose a lot of weight, you need the TFX or the gummies too, or whatever it. So that's been helpful as well. But I would just say, you guys make up a game plan. Like make up a game plan. Like I said in the beginning, how are you right now? Like, how is your soul? How is your marriage? All of the things. Check it. I'm not saying you need to go to a doctor like me. I'm not trying to make myself seem like a loony. Like I said, I thought she was going to tell me my hormones were off, and here she's telling me that I freaking have depression and I'm anxious and all these things. Anyways, so sorry, I'm just making a joke because I'm very uncomfortable, but just take care of yourself. Going into summer, I'm not telling you to halt your business, but while things slow down just a wee bit, don't kill me for saying that, it just physically is that. Why not use this, right? Like, I don't think I didn't physically do this in January and in February. I didn't have time to. Thank God I had time now. But don't make that mistake, you guys. And 2 years later, here you are making so much money and something feels off. I just think that we can all have this business forever. I really do think so. But I think we'll be all happier. And once we're happier, it's the same analogy I gave where my husband's like, you're the glue. When you're crabby and you're crazy, we all are. We all feel it. It's the same for your team. And that was kind of just, I just was sad, feeling like silly that I had let it get this far. My team loves me so hard, but I'm like, I wonder how many of them feel what I'm feeling, right? Like, because it's a domino effect. So I know that as I get happier, as I show people, guess what, guys? I'm a good top leader, but I'm not doing this 12 hours a day. I refuse. I refuse to give up these years of my kid's life and my marriage. I'm going to, so anyways, I just want that for everybody because I know what it feels like to not be happy. And I know what it feels like to not have a lot of money when you did. I know what it feels like to feel like a one-hit wonder. I get all of that. So figure out what brings you joy. Maybe it's hiking, maybe it's working out, maybe it's reading, and take time for that. And don't feel like you have to keep that in. So remember what I said about just like treating your social media like a vlog. Like I want everybody to know everything I'm doing all day long. And I'm not right now, I'm not doing it works all day long. So what am I doing instead? I'm going to show them and I'm going to invite them in. And I know I'm going to attract people just like me by doing that. So um that's really all I have for you guys. I feel like big things are coming. I actually heard a little secret about what's coming Sunday, and you guys are really going to be excited. I don't know if it's actually accurate or not. I think it was from a reliable source, but it's not coming sometime this weekend, and it's going to be so freaking good. So June will be great, but we have to make sure we're great. The company's got us, but do you have yourself? If not, you got to figure it out, or you will be left behind. And just take care of yourself. That's all.
That's it. I mean, that's it. You don't have any. Oh my gosh. At the beginning, you were like, no pressure, but I'm pretty sure you just freaking slayed the game. So that
nice.
was the best kickoff ever. And in case y'all missed all of that, take care of yourself. You can have it all and find the balance, love your babies, and just go have fun this summer and figure out a schedule that works. So I think that just set the tone for this whole series that we're doing because it's just about finding your fire and living your best life and having it all. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Yeah, and I know you said you took Prez 2.0 off the table, but I'm ready for you to kill it, girl. Like, you've got it. Y'all's team is so incredible. So
Thank you.
anyways, thank you so much. I think that's it. Does Alyssa